So we ready, Julie?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you, Julie. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Confetti, and I am the UC's Chief Risk Officer in the Office of Risk Services at the Office of the President. My role is I lead the Risk Services team, and my team is responsible for the university's system-wide insurance program. That's all lines with the exception of employee benefits. We are responsible for system-wide environmental health and safety, security, risk, and resiliency, enterprise risk management, the UC SHIP program, which is the UC's undergraduate and graduate student health program, system-wide risk technology, and Fiat Lux, the university's captive insurance program. I am honored to be with you and to open the UC Study Abroad Conference, and thank you for being here with us this morning. Global risk is a topic that holds paramount significance in the realm of higher education and international experiences. The importance of global risk management in university study abroad programs has increased in this interconnected and dynamic world where the pursuit of knowledge knows no bounds. Yet it is our responsibility to ensure that this pursuit remains as safe and secure as possible for every student venturing beyond our campuses. Study abroad programs have gained immense popularity for the invaluable experiences they offer: cultural immersion, academic enrichment, and personal growth. They broaden our horizons and provide us with unique perspective and opportunities that extend beyond the confines of our comfort zones. However, with these opportunities also come challenges, as you know, uncertainties and potential risks that cannot be overlooked. Global risk management and study abroad programs is not merely about precaution. It's about empowerment. It's about equipping students with the tools to make informed decisions, navigate unfamiliar environments, and respond effectively to unforeseen circumstances and events. Here are a few key reasons why this aspect deserves our utmost attention. Safety and well-being. The safety and well-being of our students are non-negotiable. An effective risk management strategy ensures that students are aware of potential hazards, health concerns, and emergency procedures. Whether it's a natural disaster, a health crisis, or a political upheaval, students equipped with knowledge can take proactive steps to stay safe and be assured that UC is ready to respond in support when needed. Academic continuity. A well-designed risk management plan accounts for potential disruptions to academic pursuits, whether it's access to resources, alternative study arrangements, or contingency plans for unexpected events. A robust strategy ensures that the educational goals of study abroad programs remain intact. Cultural sensitivity. Study abroad experiences are a two-way exchange. By educating students about local customs, traditions, and laws, risk management fosters cultural sensitivity and respect. That not only enhances the student's personal experience, but also contributes to positive international relations. Personal development. Navigating risks abroad fosters resilience, adaptability, and problem-solving skills. By facing challenges head-on, students grow not only academically, but also as individuals who can thrive in diverse and unpredictable situations. Safety is a partnership. Universities, our students, and their support networks have an obligation to work together to manage student safety and well-being. A robust risk management approach showcases the institution's commitment to its students, fostering trust and ensuring support. Here at the UC, we support all global travelers through the UC Travel Insurance Program, a comprehensive insurance program designed to meet the needs of UC international travelers. Our partners in this program, Chubb, AXA Global Travel Assistance, and Crisis 24, support the UC in operating globally with confidence. So how do we in UC effectively implement global risk management and study abroad programs? Comprehensive pre-departure training. For decades, our study abroad offices have been fine-tuning this training to equip students with knowledge about potential risks, local customs, and emergency protocols before they embark on their journey. Later, you will hear from one of our UC Centers of Excellence on how this training has evolved and will continue to develop into the future. Communication channels. We establish efficient communication channels between students, campus administrators, and programs to disseminate information promptly. We work together to adhere to best practices and capitalize on the robust experience across our system. The UC Global Risk is a newly designed, the UC Global Risk Council is a newly designed group born out of this collaborative culture in the international risk space. Partnerships. UC campuses and UCEAP collaborate with global institutions, organizations, and partners to gain insights into the local context and leverage their expertise in risk management. This knowledge is shared through our system we have come to know as the Friday Call, where all UC colleagues are welcomed in the Zoom room to discuss international health, safety, and crisis management topics. Regular updates and empowerment through information. Our study abroad programs keep students informed about changing situations, risks, and safety measures through regular updates and communication. In a later session today, you will hear from Crisis 24, the UC's partner in international travel security. Their subject matter expertise, partnered with their harnessing of powerful AI technology, has supported UC global travelers through early warning system, tools to make informed decisions while abroad, and access to a crisis hotline. The importance of this work cannot be overstated. As we seek to prepare the next generation of global leaders, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that their pursuit of knowledge is not hindered by preventable risks. By prioritizing safety, well-being, and preparedness, we create an environment in which students can flourish, learn, and contribute meaningfully to our interconnected world. Again, thank you for joining us today, and it was my pleasure to open this important conference. I hope you enjoy your time today and find it educational and collaborative. I'll now turn it over to Julie and Michael to formally introduce the UC Global Risk Council and its initiatives. Julie?
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julie Pollard. I'm the Director of International Health Safety and Crisis Management here at UCEAP.
And I'm Michael Price. I'm the Global Travel Security Manager at UC Santa Cruz. I welcome everyone.
We're going to go ahead and give you a brief introduction of the UC Global Risk Council. During COVID, there were a number of conversations happening across the UC system about managing travel risks, particularly travel health risks. In around October of 2021, we started meeting every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. This is an open Zoom call, and anyone who would like to discuss international health and safety topics is welcome. The group began to formally organize and prepare a charter in early 2022. The group worked hard and managed their charter based off of the UC Emergency Managers Group. In this charter, we have representation from all of the campuses that was formally established in January of 2023. Our mission, as you see it on the screen, to foster a resilient university global risk management program with crisis and consequent management capabilities that prevent, prepare for, mitigate for, respond to, and recover from any event or incident that threatens or disrupts sponsored university global travelers and their activities. Michael.
One of the mission objectives of the Risk Council is to provide a forum for group discussions of current issues affecting study abroad programs and travel. Topics in the past have included travel registration processes on campuses, preparation of students traveling abroad, review of UC traveler insurance benefits and processes, Crisis 24 service updates and briefings, conducting pre-travel security briefings, as well as a number of other topics. Members share current best practices amongst each other so that we can all strengthen each other as a group. Other mission objectives include improving upon existing processes that we have on campus through the sharing of best practices across the campus, across the members, sharing best practices and lesson learned and common experiences from incidents that members have experienced, and discussion of after action reports and common shared experiences of incident types. This is all to function as a feedback loop to the UCOP risk services so that support of campuses can be improved, as well as campus capacity and capabilities of being improved upon.
We participate in a number of collaborations. One is the California Global Risk Call, which we started this year. This call is meant for other institutions in the state of California to come and participate in conversation around global risk. The previous calls had 30+ institutions present, and we discussed things such as the reopening of China after COVID restrictions were lifted. We also discussed complex student disciplinary cases and how those cases play out in the court system. We also discussed the foreign travel requirements that were stated in the new NSPM 33 guidelines involving research collaborations. We had a very robust discussion around the components of a successful pre-travel trip briefing. Who gives them? When should they be given? How much information is too much? And how to prioritize risks in those pre-trip travel briefings. We highlight best practices across the state, and this is something that we are going to continue with this year. We also collaborate as a system in pre-trip travel briefings that are delivered by our security partner, Crisis 24. Each year, the UC provides 20 pre-trip travel briefings to high-risk global travelers. We have been able to communicate across our system to allow others to either participate live or watch recordings later of these pre-trip travel briefings. Others can learn about identity risks, travel security best practices, and location-specific risks to better inform their own work. It is a fantastic sharing of resources across our system. Michael.
Current projects that the group is working on include discussion of how incidents are reported and methods of debriefing. This includes sharing of experiences to prepare group participants to anticipate how to respond to traveler incidents. It also includes after-incident debriefs to provide a venue for discussing incident response with input from a variety of perspectives from the different members, as well as a discussion of how incident reporting can become more standardized and record-keeping methods that allow us to better understand trends and to develop better response preparedness as a group. Other projects include development of tabletop exercises for flexing our global crisis management muscles for each campus. We've recently worked on tabletop exercises based on real-life examples led by the Health, Safety, and Emergency Response Analyst of UCAP, Nancy Osborne. And we review how incidents unfold, how the incident was responded to, and have a review of after-action lessons learned. This also provides practical examples of incident response strategies, including how UCOP support can be utilized, as well as on-campus support resources that are available to members. Practical exercises make us aware of how incident response works on an institutional level, as well as within the UC system.
Our third project we're working on is a resource primer for onboarding new staff that work in the international travel space. Resources across the UC system are vast, and it can be hard to keep all of them straight. We're hoping to be able to teach new staff how to utilize Crisis 24 from a campus perspective, from a risk management perspective, and how to guide a traveler to access Crisis 24 resources effectively. We also hope to detail access services so that each person involved in international travel risk management is better capable of responding with the appropriate resource. AXA is a new system vendor that onboarded last year, and we're very happy that they have been able to add 2 key services to the UC travel insurance program. One is Dr. Please, and the second is a behavioral health crisis consult, which is essentially a crisis response call to support someone who is currently experiencing a mental health crisis. You will hear more about these 2 services in a later presentation from our UC travel partners. We also hope to help educate international risk managers on records retention policies and the importance of understanding records retention policies. This can be a difficult topic to navigate, and to be able to have consensus on the types of retention schedules for each of our global risk documents would make us stronger as a system. We also hope to include policy examples highlighting how each campus has developed and implemented their own international travel or activities policies, sharing that development experience, the implementation process, and what type of compliance process they have. We always like to highlight UC Davis's international travel policy, as they have a very thorough and robust campus-based policy. We are also very excited to partner with Jeanette and the Risk and Safety Training Center of Excellence on a new course that we are developing, the International Travel Security 101 course. Jeanette will talk about this a bit later. For now, I would like to turn it over to her so that she can introduce her Center of Excellence.
Thank
Jeanette.
you. Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Jeanette De La Rosa Ducat, and I work primarily out of UC Riverside, but as a Center of Excellence, we develop campus training materials for all the locations. Most of our expertise is in training, online training, instructional design, anything related to e-learning. We also produce videos and host webinars. We need to capture anything formally with professional photography or videography. We also do that. And we currently maintain a library of about 250 customized risk and safety training courses, which we're adding to by also providing services in the realm of translations and CEUs. So I wanted to talk this morning about some research training materials that are available to the system, starting with restricted party screening, which is on the next slide, sort of goes over some of those topics. Sorry about this, but research security, I meant. So there are a variety of trainings we've developed over the past few years that help with many of the activities in study abroad. So whether it's faculty-led research activities in another country, or even in this country, but in collaboration with another institution across the waters. These videos that we have are designed to give just a very basic overview of some of those conflicts of interest, issues we may need to consider when working with any foreign institution. They're short videos between 3 to 5 minutes. The more important one we like to highlight is data security, which talks a lot about how to manage your files or even your equipment when traveling abroad or working with other institutions. And as we've seen with this recent cybersecurity attack on the MGM casinos, there is quite a lot that we can do and take personal responsibility for, whether it's with ourselves or with our students in this area of cybersecurity. And so these videos are available on YouTube, but also in our website, and we will put those links in the chat. And
I can go back to your staff slide, which for some reason did not show.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. So as a Center of Excellence, we are a team of staff who develop trainings across the areas of risk services. So we've developed a workplace violence prevention training, a laboratory safety training under EH&S, all the way over to emergency management. There are some active shooter videos. We also have created safe patient handling videos for our UC Health locations. So for a variety of different topics across all the realms of risk services. And so if there's a topic that falls within any of these areas, we probably have developed a resource for it. So if we can probably skip to maybe 3 slides. Thank you. Thank you, Julie.
Collaborations, the video.
There you go. Wasn't sure if this would play, but that's okay if it doesn't. It's it basically is a video that shows pretty complex topics around working with some of those countries that may be on the restricted list, right? And how to report, how to work with them. And it's an animated video, but also has professional.
The University of California values and encourages international collaboration.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
California values and encourages international collaborations. Did you know that there are guidelines you should follow related to international collaborations? They influence the sharing of certain items or information with people, institutions, and destinations. These guidelines can impact how, when, and with whom you can share certain types of items, information, and interactions when collaborating internationally. Knowing who and when to ask for assistance will help you to avoid compromising your research and penalties. Let's learn more about collaboration guidelines, when they apply, and the risks you may encounter. There are various applicable regulations or other requirements to consider when collaborating internationally. You have a shared responsibility with the university to ensure that activities in your university role comply with U.S. regulations for international collaborations. An example of those regulations is export controls, which control the sharing of certain types of items, information, services, and software between persons inside and outside the U.S. When an item or interaction is controlled, that means you may need a license. If you are not sure if an item or international interaction requires a license or to request help, contact your Export Control Office. While the license is issued by the government, your Export Control Office will help you identify when a license or other documentation is needed. Let's look at some specific examples of situations where international collaboration guidelines might apply: tangible exports, proprietary information, and restricted parties. Interactions involving tangible exports. A license may be required for the export or import of research samples, materials, or equipment. Research utilizing proprietary information. Sharing proprietary information may require a license, even if done while conducting fundamental research projects. Restricted parties. The U.S. government agencies maintain restricted party lists. These lists identify individuals, organizations, and countries to whom restrictions apply. Restricted parties are identified through restricted party screening. This allows the UC to identify restricted parties, prevent unauthorized interactions with them, and comply with U.S. export control laws. As a standard practice, restricted party screening should be performed for all parties involved in international activities to determine whether an export license may be needed. Consult your Export Control Office for help in understanding if and when these international regulations apply. There are many situations where international collaboration risks are present. It is important to recognize the risks related to your work with the university, which include shipping or hand-carrying research samples, equipment, or other items abroad, sharing proprietary information within the U.S. or abroad, and any of the activities previously mentioned. Maintaining healthy international relations is a shared responsibility, and you have a valuable resource you can go to with questions. The UC supports its researchers in their academic endeavors. Therefore, it aims to provide the best regulatory guidance and information to ensure the UC is an engaged global citizen while following U.S. export control regulations. Violations of those regulations can result in loss of federal research funding and other penalties. When in doubt, contact your Export Control Office. They can help you to determine the risk of your situation and how to proceed. Following U.S. international regulations helps to protect you and the university while allowing us to continue to engage in collaborative partnerships safely. For more information, refer to the UC System-Wide Export Controls Training. You may also contact the Export Control or Research Compliance offices at your campus or location. This message has been brought to you by the University of California Ethics, Compliance, and Audit Services and Risk and Safety Training.
Thank you, Julie. So as you can see, the videos, all the trainings are intended to just provide an overview of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of laws and regulations involving any particular topic. And in that case, it's international collaborations. So we really wanted to make all of the materials just palatable for faculty and students, as well as staff. Another training resource we have, which you may be familiar with, is our UC Abroad training, which is different than the education abroad training you might see in the UC Learning Center. Our education abroad training was developed many years ago. It is available in the UC Learning Center, viewable on our website, which we'll also put in the chat later, and provides a cursory overview for students on planning topics and safety and health, and international security. So that is a current resource available that does provide an example of the types of trainings that you may expect to see from us. And on the next slide, we have, as Julie mentioned, plan to hopefully begin a travel security 101 training this fall. It's intended to provide a very basic overview for anybody traveling, both internationally and domestically, on those topics around safety awareness, such as, especially when you're traveling alone, such as, how to manage your devices and how to lock yourself up in your hotel room and just kind of be aware of your surroundings. It also hopefully will cover planning and trip registration, travel insurance and tips, as well as resources for people that are available on campuses that many may not be aware of. So it's intended for those who do not fall within the threshold for those Crisis 24 debriefs and who also might fall outside the scope of traditional insurance programs. So we're pretty excited to work with Julie and her team on this training. On the next slide, we also wanted to share that an emerging perhaps risk, but also capability is artificial intelligence, not just in the realm of training, but also in the work that you may do every day. So I was going to transition a little bit. I thought it'd be a good time to maybe share how you can use artificial intelligence to create some of the training materials for yourselves, as we've been doing over the past perhaps decade, but also to use it to create marketing materials, some itineraries and advisories and tips, as well as to translate documents, either from English to another language or to English, and with a click of a button. So I was going to share those very quick examples, beginning with how to use our artificial intelligence to present for you. So on the next slide, this is something called Tome. I'm just basically creating a presentation, and it's a prompt that I just put in, where I'm asking it to create a presentation for studying abroad in South Korea. So as you can see, this basically took about a second or two for it to, on its own, create an entire outline, some original content, and some graphics with just a prompt, a few words that I put into it. And if there is an image that it created from scratch that I perhaps did not want, or I wanted something new, I could have selected it, and on the right-hand side, edited its description, and it would have changed it out for me. So in that example, there was a male speaking at the head of the class, and I wanted a female, and it redrew that entire graphic for me from scratch, just based on my words. So the idea is that if you may or are not ready to present, but you needed to present that day, all you needed to do is to write a prompt, such as create a presentation for studying abroad in any country, and it will go to the internet and create an entire beautiful presentation for you. So that is Tome. And on the next slide, if we can, not sure if it lets you click the right arrow, Julie. I know you're navigating. It's a little funny.
It's a big one. Okay.
Sorry, it might require you to click next on your keyboard. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Right one? Yeah.
Perfect. There you go. Again, tome, enter a sentence, and it will create an outline, some text, and original artwork for you. So that's the power of artificial intelligence. On the next slide, perhaps you don't need a presentation, but you need marketing materials for your programs. There's something called Canva you can use. It's free, but all of these apps are free. You can click on apps, and there's something new called AI presenters in Canva where you can select what's called an avatar and write out what you want them to say. I'm just copying and pasting from a website, and it creates in any language you want a talking head, and you can kind of see I'm adding to this basically canvas, just like PowerPoint, words to customize my marketing materials. It can be any logo. And at the end of the day, what it's done is it's created a video for me.
Learn abroad with your UC professor, taking UC courses on a global stage through a faculty-led education abroad program, FLEAP. Participate in the UC system-wide network through UCEAP, or find additional options through the Opportunities Abroad program, OAP.
So it not only just creates videos, but this is actually something you can PDF or create an image out of and put in your emails. And there are actually a variety of templates that with a click of a few buttons, you can use to develop your materials without the need of a professional marketing company. They're quite beautiful. But I think what's powerful about some of these AI tools these days is that you no longer need the skills in traditional video editing, and you don't even need a microphone. You can basically choose a character. There's even a way to redevelop the likeness of yourself and have you speak on the video, or you can use no video head at all and just use it for the narration purposes. But it was pretty quick, and it showed earlier you cannot just create materials in English, but you can choose a variety of languages. So I thought that was cool to share. If you click on next on your keyboard, thanks, Julie. Oh, if you can go back one, I just wanted to reiterate that Canva is a free tool where all you need is to write a script, select a template, and Canva will produce videos and marketing materials for you. On the next slide, I know a lot of us has heard about ChatGPT. I think about it a lot like I think about Google, where it's something that I can search, but it does more than Google. I can use it to search and write and solve problems for me. So on the next slide, this is what it looks like. It's a simple area with one space to enter a prompt, which is just a set of a few phrases. I think on the next slide, it shows you, here's an example where I'm asking it to create an itinerary for business students studying abroad in the Philippines. I wanted it to identify points of interest and the estimated cost converted to US dollars. So it's creating a table for me. So I'm sorry, it went by really, really quickly, but it literally takes that long to scour the entire internet and look for that information and convert it to something that I can use. I wasn't sure if that was the end of it, but it also does more. And I also used it. I asked ChatGPT to do things such as give me the travel advisories for different countries and develop a list of health and safety tips that I can share with my UC Abroad students in an orientation. So just by entering a few words, it was able to create content, which of course you'd want to review on your own, but you wouldn't have to spend so much time and energy to collect. There's also a resource called DeepL, which is going to end on that can help you translate different things into different documents in entire languages. I know we're used to Google Translate, but in DeepL, I'm not sure if it plays. It is a way to upload entire PDFs or Word documents. So as I've said, Google Translate is just like this, where you enter something and it translates it into another language. However, you can do this with documents. You can basically take a PDF, a Word document, or a PowerPoint, And what I just did was I dragged and dropped those documents into it. I selected a language. It asked me where I wanted to save it, but it's basically translating it. I saved it somewhere on my desktop, and DeepL translated the entire document in a matter of seconds. And not only that, it kept my formatting. So this is a real live example of a script where it translated into Russian, which is a language we need often in the Bay Area campus locations. But it's pretty powerful. What it does is it, again, maintains your formatting. So if you have a handout that you needed to convert into those different scripts, those different characters, it can help you do that without making you have to edit or copy and paste where on the document it's from. So we've used it for online trainings, we've used it for videos, we've used it to develop handouts. And so on the next and I think final slides, sorry, click right on your keyboard. It's so funny. There you go. DeepL, it's again a free tool where all you have to do is upload a document. Hopefully it's a document without personal health information or sensitive information, but a document that can be distributed publicly on the internet, and it will translate it for you as well as keep the formatting. And I've actually used it to do the opposite. I've dropped a document in a regulation written in Vietnamese, and I've translated it into English, and I was able to review the entire document without the help of translators. So hopefully that was helpful for you to see that artificial intelligence can be used to create presentations, to create marketing materials, including videos, itineraries, advisories, and to translate documents. And that we as a Center of Excellence are available to you if you need any help with developing courses, and we're looking forward to creating that travel security 101 training hopefully soon. You can find us at training.ucr.edu. And I think that's it. Hopefully that was useful.
Thank you, Jeanette. So we do have a significant amount of time for questions, and I would like to start by asking you, for your training programs, could you talk us through the development phase, how you build your collaboration team, how long a project might take?
Thank you for that question. So as a Center of Excellence, our skills are primarily in the creation of materials, physical handouts to videos and whatnot. And so while part of our development phase includes just, if we have a topic, we research it, we gather materials from all across the universities. We have connections through a variety of sources, both internal to the UC as well as across the nation. And so we develop all the materials, we sort of try to develop a rough set of topics, and then we work with a small set of subject matter experts to just even review that outline and start working on the content. The subject matter experts usually come from a larger work group. So for example, the Global Risk Council. Julie, we have a few of friends from that group. So Michael Price, yourself, AJ Leeds from UC Davis. So we're hoping that this smaller group can help us just kind of work through the content and really flesh it out. So we get our materials, we make sure we kind of try to synthesize it, then we work with a subject matter expert team to really work through it. And this is over a set of meetings, right, through Zoom. Hopefully, it usually takes about a month to create the first draft. And then we send it out for review. We send it out for review first by the SMA team. And then once they've kind of worked with us on the content, we kind of edit the course within a 2-week period after that. We send it out to the larger work group, and sometimes even beyond that work group, just so that we get as many people involved in the content review as possible. So the example of the Travel Security 101 training, we may work with not just the Global Risk Council. We may also include people from OGC or Office of General Counsel, or even Ethics, Compliance, and Audit Services, because there's so many interests in that sort of a training. And then it's launched from there. We work with all the campuses, the campus LMS administrators, to launch it in the UC Learning Center. And from start to finish, we've averaged between 1 to 3 months to develop online trainings. More recently, we're developing training materials in different languages along with that online training course. So yeah, hopefully that helps set the stage for develop and work with the team and the timelines. Thank you for that question.
Michelle, we have a question.
So the question in the chat, oh, I'm so sorry. Michelle, thanks.
Ask her to unmute. Let's see.
Oh,
yes.
It wasn't letting me, so I was trying to type in. It won't let me talk. Kevin, I have a question for you. Would you mind sharing a little bit about any of your global risk priorities that you see for the future?
Oh, great question, Michelle. I think we have, in my opinion, or in my mind, I have kind of two priorities. I have a longer arc priority, and I have somewhat of a shorter term priority. And I'll start off with my longer arc priority, and that is really to have an international travel policy system-wide for the University of California. When I look and discuss this with other university systems across the country, I think we're a bit behind. Actually, we may be quite a ways behind, and we really need to develop a system-wide policy that everyone can get behind, that ensures that we are doing everything possible to ensure the safety of our faculty, staff, and students when they're traveling internationally. So from a long arc perspective, and as you can imagine, I don't know if you're familiar with getting a policy approved system-wide, but it takes a while. And as you know, because we're talking about something that also affects the faculty, it's not an easy process. So I would say that's my long-term goal. Short-term goal is really to try to determine what we can do without having to implement a policy to get our faculty and our students to take better advantage of all the tools we have for them when they travel internationally. Unfortunately, it's a free resource. It's an excellent resource. It helps ensure their security and their safety. And the use of it we don't have enough use of it, right? So people are putting themselves in harm or potentially putting themselves in dangerous situations and not taking advantage of the resources and the tools we have for them that can help ensure that they avoid those situations. And so that's my immediate goal, is how can we do a better job to not only make people aware of these tools, but the only reason I could think that people don't want to use them is for some reason, A, they don't know about it, or B, they somehow think it's too intrusive. And I think we need to get people over that because they're not, right? This is not Big Brother trying to track what they're doing, where they're doing it, right? This is a resource to help whatever they're doing. We want to help them do it safely. And so that's kind of my two goals.
Yeah, I think it's challenging because there's so many links and so many places that when you're traveling and trying to know where to go or what you need to do. So I think that is definitely a challenge to get people to, go, but having anything consolidated and simple for people would be great.
Right.
One other question was just about UC Away. Are there any plans to update UC Away in the future?
I believe so. Yeah, I think the answer to that question is yes. I don't know exactly what the plan is, but I believe so, yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As frequent international travelers, I think a lot of us are interested in seeing a slightly nicer interface or maybe an easier user experience. And as risk managers, I know folks are interested in collecting a little bit more data around the purpose of the international travel.
Right.
Yeah, I would say if it's just easier to consolidate it all and make it a simple flow, because I feel like sometimes it's piecemeal. I have to submit this for our office and I have to go here and do this, and then I have to remember that. It's just trying to remember where all the different areas are. It would just be a little bit easier if it were a little smoother or 1, 2, 3 type of a thing. Easier said than done.
Yeah, good feedback though. Thank you.
Let's see, we have a question in the chat from LaSharon. What training would you recommend for faculty who are taking students abroad? I imagine that is a Jeanette question.
Right. Thank you for asking. So depending on what you're doing with them, obviously, UC Abroad is a course that's available in the UC Learning Center. And I know we have our Education Abroad program course as well. But I would highly recommend the restricted party screening course because it covers all of those different topics about which are the countries which we have those restrictions on, and if they're on that list, or even if they're not on that list, what are the different checklists or forms or individuals that you may want to consider using or working with when going to that location. It provides a very cursory overview of other topics such as research security and export controls. Many individuals may not know that there are so many regulations in those areas if they work in research, but even if they don't work in research, it still provides information about exporting your own materials, your own equipment, your own data, your own computers across borders, and how to protect against some of those cybersecurity threats or some of those other risks that come along with it. So UC Abroad, restricted party screening, research security, and export controls, which all can be viewed online or on our website. And for the most part, they are available in the UC Learning Center. There might be a campus or two, perhaps Merced, for example, where they're still getting them uploaded. But if you find that any of these courses are not available in your UC Learning Center, there's a request button on every one of those courses, and you just fill out your information and we will work with your UCLC administrator to get them launched. So thanks. Hopefully that helps.
I have another question for Jeanette. You had a standout session at UC Risk Summit that talked about AI uses in risk and safety training. From your perspective, what do you think is the most valuable AI tool that you're using right now in your work?
I think that's a good question. I talk a lot about a variety of tools to do different things, from developing videos to translating documents. And I've been talking a lot also about the ethics and risks of AI tools, which this is probably the 7th conference this year I've been speaking to those things such as bias and cybersecurity and hallucination issues. But and I say that because even though that there are risks with using some of those tools, not taking on risks is also a big risk, right? Avoiding risk is also pretty risky. So as long as we understand what those risks are, that's good. The most valuable AI tool I've seen, it is probably ChatGPT, and that's why it's so powerful and so popular. And it's because you can copy from scratch an entire data from a spreadsheet. I've shown in my talks. You can copy and paste hundreds and thousands of rows of data and paste it into ChatGPT as long as it's not sensitive or secure information. You can paste it, and then you can ask it, kind of like you ask an analyst, to tell you, a 1-second overview of what this data means. So instead of an analyst spending hours and hours of time to go through all that data, sometimes it takes days to go through data. It'll, in about 10 seconds, give you a summary of what that data is saying. It'll calculate it and it'll process it quickly. But that's a small example of what ChatGPT can do. And because it can do things such as that, or scour the internet and in 5 seconds give you a table, or even translate. If you just say, translate this document into Farsi, it'll do that. It's been quite valuable in doing things such as even create emergency management plans, which I'm speaking with emergency managers about next month.
Wonderful. Well, if you wouldn't mind dropping your YouTube channel in the chat, I do think lots of folks might like to learn from you. So we are at time here. Before we go, I would like for Kevin to confirm that he is in fact real and not an AI generated Kevin.
I am. And I'll tell you, I have to say, from a risk management perspective, that stuff freaks me out. That's all I'm going to say. It scares me big time. I mean, it's an unbelievable technology platform, but wow, you can only imagine some of the risks that come along with those types of technology. So, but yes, I am not an AI bot. Thank you.
Well, I hope that we'll be able to explore more of these topics at next UC Risk Summit. For today, we will close. Please stick around for the rest of the day today. We have a lot of risk management focused sessions. There's the UC travel insurance section that's coming up. We also have a personal risk tolerance session happening as well. Thank you all for being here today. It was wonderful to see you. Thanks to Kevin and Michael for joining us, and also Jeanette for sharing your knowledge. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.